Yes, indeed. What a mighty God we serve. Yes, sir. This morning, I want us to turn in our Bibles. We've got quite a few places to go. I'm asking for your prayers because, see, I'm supposed to get up at 9:30, and it's 9:53. So I just want y'all to know before they want to meet with me after church over the time. Amen. Okay, but let's go in, and we're going to go. We have a few places, but I want you to perk your ears up, and I want our children to hear what I'm going to say. I want everybody to get a hold of it. Amen. Go with me, please, to the book of Mark, chapter 8. Amen. Mark, chapter 8. If you would, we're going to read swiftly verses 22 through 26. Go ahead.
And he cometh to Bethsaida.
Yep.
And they bring him a blind man unto him.
Yeah.
And besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
Yeah.
After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes.
I got to touch you again.
And made him look up, and he was restored.
Yeah.
And saw every man clearly.
He saw what?
Every man.
He saw what?
Every man.
How did he see him?
Clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town. So
here's where we're going. Today, we're going to be talking from a subject, and I'm going to do my very best to stay under control, because this is a subject that's very sensitive to me. The Spirit of God burdened me with this years and years ago. And but we're going to work on it. And where are my folks that are praying? Pray for your pastor. And so we're going to approach this, and we're going to talk from the subject, stop it. Push somebody and say, stop it. Oh, my God, it's enough. Stop it. Okay. We've been in a series on relationships. And we talked about the need for covenant friendships in our very first lesson. Then we spent some time on last week talking about dribbling and setting picks, assists, and rebounds, and how that symbolized our need for communication, for loyalty, for reciprocity in a relationship, and for forgiveness. You cannot have happy, healthy relationships if you do not have good communication, if you do not have loyalty, if you do not have reciprocity. In other words, you can't always be taking. It's a give and take. It's a what? And then you got to have forgiveness, because no matter how sweet they are, it's going to get on your nerves at least one good time. Come on, talk to me. If you can get on your own nerves and you know you like nobody else, surely other people are going to fail sometimes. All right? And so then on Wednesday, did y'all enjoy the word on dating and chemistry? Amen. Pastor Trev walked it on through. And so this morning, we're talking about our relationship to ourselves. I certainly appreciate that one clap. Now, I understand by and large that people are concerned. We almost don't know about having a relationship with ourselves, because we're super afraid that we're going to get over into pride or being very selfish. And a selfish individual wants everything. Everything revolves around them, self-centered. Their conversation, their manner of life, the way they spend money. Selfishness. It's not a good thing, and it hurts relationships. Okay, but then there's also being selfless. And that's this kind, if I would simplify this, just putting forth that what I think, feel, and everything, it doesn't really matter. It's just all about you. Well, that sounds good, but that ain't going to last. Okay, I'm trying to help somebody. Both extremes are detrimental to relationships. What did I just say? That's right. Now, selfish, that's pride. Getting over the pride, that's sin. And being selfless may not be sin, but it's just as destructive. What you and I have to understand is that it is the intent of God that we have a healthy relationship with and to ourselves. Because if you don't begin to value who you are unable to forge, fashion, or maintain a healthy relationship. You know, it's funny. It's just so funny to me. You know, people don't understand your concept of yourself has everything to do with where you are, who you hang around, what your dreams are. On Friday, I believe it was Friday, there was a team that nobody thought was in contention. Came up against #1 ranked. That's why folk ain't gonna get this, what you call it when you fill out them little cards? The brackets. A whole bunch of folk cussed on, what night was it, Friday? Tourette syndrome hit the nation. And folk went into uncontrollable cussing because somebody upset what they thought was going to happen. This team was like number 16, and it had happened once with women's basketball, but it had never happened. Boy, I could just lay down off that right there. Because it says to me, I don't need it to have happened before for me to be the first. Oh, God, maybe you understand what I'm saying? Had never happened before, but number 16 came up and did not sneak by. They put something on Virginia's hind parts. Now watch, had they listened to all of the external opinions, it would have swayed their ability to believe and kill their faith. But good God, they became a voice to themselves. And they did it. They wanted their shining moment, and they got it. Now, there's always going to be a few folks that, child, that's the fluke. They're going to get their tail beat. That's why you at home watching, and they are there playing. Because if they never play another game, they are going down in history. So let's just square that. See, I'm concerned that even with such an amazing example, we do not know the importance of becoming a voice to ourselves. You know, the Bible is very clear in Matthew chapter 22. I got so many verses. I'm just going to kind of talk through it. But they said, Jesus, what are the greatest commandments? He says the very first one is you love God with everything. Do I need to go? Can I just go to O'Neill paraphrase? You love God with everything. You bring everything to your relationship with God because he saved every part of you. You love him with all you have. He said, but the next commandment would be, love your neighbor. Y'all know where I'm going, don't you? As you love it seems to imply, there's the inference there, that I will be unable to appropriately love my neighbor if I don't have appropriate love for myself. I know this ain't on my scripture list. Go to Proverbs 23. Sorry, Mom Kathy. Proverbs 23 right quick. Woo. Because I hear some, I love myself. Okay. Yet you keep picking people that treat you like dirt. You don't love you yet. That's okay, just give you a place to grow, but you don't love you yet. No, not you let folk talk about you like that. No, baby, no. Let me show you. Proverbs 23 verse 7 says, we love this verse because we go on and say as a man thinketh, but it says, for as he thinketh in his heart, what y'all? As he thinketh in his what? Heart. Not head. Eat and drink, because you got to read the whole verse to get the gist of this. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart ain't with you. That's like people come to, you want me to O'Neillize this one? That people come to your house and you done fried up some chicken. You understand what I'm saying? It's you and your family. And so you're probably extra, you got the back is left and maybe a short thigh. Well, yeah, you understand what I'm saying. And then they come in. And you thinking to yourself, first of all, you ain't called, so, So you say, hey, come on in, praise God, you good? Hallelujah, hallelujah. And so so you say, you're hungry? Good, yes, sir. What y'all? You come, watch this now. Come on, get you something. Get whatever you. And you know your heart is going, if you reach for that wing, honest to God, you don't walk up in nobody's house and get. So it is one thing to say, but the reality is your heart may saying something completely different from your mouth. And your heart is true. See, I am not sure if we are aware, but there is a satanically inspired attack on healthy self-esteem across the world. The enemy recognizes that many of us do not have this healthy self-esteem, this love of self. And so he comes in, he started it early to try to diminish it, and then he tries to finish it off as we grow up. A lack of love for oneself is a major contributor to the decay of family structure, economic weakness. I know you understand. I'm going to explain it to you. And the acceptance of cultural limitations. It produces things, many of our social ills like suicide. Either eating yourself to death or not eating yourself to death. Anorexia or bulimia. It contributes to kids now, 13, 14, wanting plastic surgery. It contributes to billions of dollars being spent around the world for cream that lightens the skin. What does it mean to have a loving relationship with yourself? It means you truly come to a place of self-awareness. What'd I say? You come to a point of self-awareness. You come to a point of self-acceptance and then self-appreciation. Those are my points for today. So you text yourself or write it or something. To truly accept and feel gratitude for where you are in life, who you are as a person, how you look and how you feel, how you think. That is having a respectful and loving relationship with yourself. See, if you don't understand how, and I know I got really spiritual people here because we have a spiritual church. Even people who come and say, y'all spiritual. Okay, so let's work from that. Honey, I don't even have to think about me. It's just all about Jesus. I need to get my sense of self from Jesus. But I can have Jesus, and if I do not let Jesus go back and redefine me, then I will be fit for heaven and jacked up for earth. Jesus stopped on the way in the Caesarea Philippi and said, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? He said, I want to get a sense of what folk are saying. They said, well, some say you're John the Baptist or Elias or one of these other people. He said, well, who do you say? Peter says, I know who you are. He said, you are the Messiah. You are the promised one. You are the Christ of God. You're the one that's going to deliver us. And Jesus said, Pete, you're right. But let's not stop talking yet. Because now let me tell you who you are. You're not listening to me. See, it's one thing to give your life to Jesus. It's another thing to let Jesus then put his life in you. Peter says, I know who you are. And Jesus said to Peter, I know who you are. That's the same kind of experience that we see in Mark chapter 8. Here is a man that has the attention of Jesus. Jesus is walking with this blind man. Walking with Jesus is a metaphor for being saved. Jesus touches him. So what do you see? He said, well, I can see. I've gone from darkness to light. Type of, again, get excited. Darkness to light. He said, but everybody looks like trees compared to me. Well, at least you can see, right? At least you're not stumbling all over everything. You probably could get a job. I mean, you can't be a jeweler or nothing. God, that was funny. Did you get that? You'd only know to get that if you have to wear glasses and stuff. So you may not be able to be a jeweler and put small things in there, but you can at least work. Why didn't Jesus leave him like that? Since the guy was walking with Jesus, he had gone from darkness to light. Why did Jesus bother to touch him again? Because Jesus is showing us how detrimental it is to see people as bigger and better than you. Because it destroys your confidence. It destroys your sense of I can be in any room and hold my head up. When you don't see yourself on an equal playing field with others, you stay away from rooms you were intended to go in. You back away from opportunities because you think, no, not me. And Jesus said, come here. Let me touch you again. I am not about to leave you with an improper view of others and yourself. Because though I brought you from darkness to light, it still won't bring me glory for you to have some vision and then shriek away or shirk back from all the opportunities that I put in front of you. You can't bring me glory looking at other people like trees, because the only thing people did with trees in the Bible is either cut them down or hang themselves on them. What do I mean hang themselves? How many people are losing their sense of identity trying to be just like somebody else? When you can't celebrate who God made you. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me today. I'm gonna just preach for those that'll watch it later. When you can't celebrate who God made you, when you can't rejoice over that, then you start trying to be like somebody else, and then you rob the earth of what God intended when he made you. Push your neighbor and say, you owe me something. Push them. They got an attitude. Push them again. They ain't gonna do nothing. We got guns up in this piece. See, your sense of value is critical. Watch this. You only put things on sale or offer discounts if you think they're really not as valuable as you're pretending. Or if you've let a lull in offers convince you that no one will ever invest in having you. Let me say that again, Sister Wall. See, you don't put stuff on sale. I'll give you an example. Don't come for my watch. I'm telling you, you so are not going to get this. This is an expensive watch, and I love it. I love it. I cried the first day I saw it. Now, you judge me if you want, but I love it. I like silver and gold together. I don't know. So when I saw it, I said, dog, that's pretty. I want that. This thing was thousands of dollars, and I had to save and scrimp. But I got it. Now, watch this. I know, let's say, I can't remember, I think it was a little bit more than this, but let's say this was $5,000. Don't be a hater. Okay. Now, I've been working since I was 15. I've been working 37 years, loose here. Watch this now. Let's say it's $5,000. I ain't putting this on sale for no $289.99. You have lost your mind. Watch this. So I'd only discount it. So let's say I put the price tag on at $5,000, and then I say sale, $2,000. What is that telling y'all? It ain't worth $5,000, and I know it. And so, yeah, and they know it. So I just cut the price down. You only do that when you know it's not worth it, or the only other time you would do that is if you feel like there's probably no chance of it selling, so you'll take what you can get and get out. See, that's what happens when you That's what happens when you let the opinions of others or your experiences make you feel cheap and less than. That you start doing what the woman at the well did, where she lowered herself. Her self-esteem was destroyed from all of these men having her and not wanting her. So then by the time she gets to the man she's with, when Jesus meets her, she said, you don't even have to marry me. I don't think I'm worth even requiring that. And this isn't about women. This is about everybody. Because the enemy has a plan for every race and gender. Comes at predominantly white men to make them feel you have no power. They feel lost. Black men, you have no possessions. You feel lost. White women, you've lost your youth. Feel lost. Black women, you have no sense of beauty. You feel lost. The devil has a plan for everybody. Oh, preach, Bishop. So, I want us today, go to Ephesians 6:12. You have to understand, man, woman, boy, and girl, that you were created by the will of God. You didn't hear me. Okay, Ephesians 6:12. You ain't got to stay at the verse yet. Just get there and look back up. What Dr. Wilkes say, look up, look up, look up. You have to understand you were created. I'm a weekend pass baby. So I know they didn't intend to have me. But that's okay. Because they didn't intend it, but God intended it. Y'all not talking. I was born, I believe it's John chapter 1 verse 13, not by the will of the flesh, not by the will of men, but by the will of God. God wanted me here with my low voice, my hairy face, and, I better let this drop it off right there. Fine self. I was going to drop it, but y'all pushed me. The Bible says in Psalm 139 that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And at some point, you got to decide whether you're going to believe the Bible or whether you're going to let people have more influence over the way you think and the way you carry yourself than God. In fact, can I share with you, today's lesson is really about who is going to be God to you. TV? Then you get down and you bow down when you get home. You better bow down. You bow down and you kiss the floor and you put your hands and you put money in front of the TV. You see it? Let all my children stand up. All children stand up for a minute. Stand up. Quick. If you're under 18, get up. I just need to look at you for a minute. Oh, you're wonderful people. God, I love you. Thank you. Y'all just helped me keep something in. Thank you. Sit up. So y'all already know, don't you? If you're going to let television be the thing that dictates what you think about yourself, then you call it God when you get home. If you're going to let what your friends say and their attitudes, if that's the case, then when you get to school tomorrow or when you get to work tomorrow, you bow down, you kiss their feet. The Bible I carry says, let God be true and everybody else. Now, Ephesians 6:12, let me calm down. Because I want to stay focused. I really do. Because I gotta hit us with some stuff today. Hurry. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in what? High places. Here's what you have to understand. The enemy is out to destroy everybody. Okay? And so he is strategic with this. Now, today we're going to look at 3 coaches, not in basketball coaches. I'm just, I'm trying to work with the theme. Y'all know I struggle. Anyway, moving on. So I have a coach to teach us about self-awareness, a coach to teach us about self-acceptance, and a coach to teach us about self-appreciation. But I need you to understand that the enemy has utilized strategies to undercut every race and every culture. Now, I could just as easily, I'm going to talk about something today, and near the end, I'm going to talk about colorism. I know. I could just as easy, and it's a predominantly, what did I just say? What word was that? Predominantly black phenomenon, okay? Not exclusively, but predominantly, okay? But I could just as easily look at the satanic scheme to undercut the sense of esteem of white women in our nation. When I tell you, he has done this thing so systematically that they feel like when they start getting out of their late 20s, that they are old and washed up. They lose their, it is uncanny. I could look at the way, if I was dealing with it, I could look at the way, particularly in white America, that if they're not a size 4, they are. Now, it's different in the black community because when people have been poor, black people had this mindset. We may not have no money, but we're going to have something to eat. Y'all ain't talking to me. No, come on. That's a carryover from slavery. So in the black community, size is almost like it was for the Greeks. The Greeks liked thick women because it was a sign of opulence. You had plenty of money. You had plenty to eat. And in fact, you could see some of that same thing. Even in Africa, there were, when they did the #1 ladies detective agency, Jill Scott at the time was heavy, and her character was written to be so. And the lady said something. She said, many men. She said, I am of traditional build. Many men like it that way. And so when this guy was dating her, he said, you are fat and fabulous. And this guy said, you must be a very lucky man to have such a beautiful, fat, cheerful woman. It wasn't a slap, okay? So, but what I want you to see is, so you've got young girls, in particular in the white race, that feel hideous because they got this much skin on them. It's a satanic strategy. It's a satanic strategy. And Dove, oh God, are y'all gonna let me get through this today? Dove, the soap, about 5 or 7 years ago, Dove had to switch because they were seeing and it had to have been a money thing. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but they changed the way they started advertising and stopped putting up only one kind of person on their ads. They start intentionally adding older women and speaking of their beauty because they were having a crisis in that community. So today we're going to look at one, but I want us to talk from a bigger vantage point of our value. Can I get you to go right quick to Matthew 20:28? I know that's not on your verse either. The enemy is intentional on getting you to feel self-conscious about your looks. Y'all didn't say nothing. That's everybody. I'm not talking about just women. Guys, don't try to play me like that. Oh, no. Your experiences and failures, or your lack of, and you have to just leave ... because it could be education, it could be exposure, whatever it is. You need to understand the value of a thing is found in what someone is willing to pay for it. Set aside the fact that we were created in the image and likeness of God. He said, who made man's mouth? Even if his mouth is dumb, watch this, even if my ears get this big and my nose and I have some other kind of stuff and hairy and all this other stuff, God made me. You know what? God made me. And there's this one girl, I wish I had put her picture up. She has a full beard. There's no reason for it. She has no sense of her shaving. It just don't make sense. Mother Cat, find that. There's a picture called the Bearded Woman. And the prettiest one you see that they call pretty, put that up. Because everybody's pretty. I know you may not think so. That's because you let other people tell you what it is. And then why do they get to choose? That's another subject. But if you find, there's no reason for her to shave. It just don't even make sense. She shaved, it'll be back by 12. Matthew 20, while she finds that, go to Matthew 20. I want you to see your value today. Because I know the devil's tried to make you think you're not any good. But the devil is a liar. I said the devil is a liar. I need a church. I said the devil is a liar. Matthew 20:28, read.
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister.
Watch this next part.
And to give his life a ransom for many.
Give his life a what?
Ransom.
If they steal, if somebody kidnaps somebody that nobody knows, they say, I give them back for $1,000. If somebody stole, oh Lord, somebody popular, Beyonce, they ain't gonna ask for $1,000. They're gonna ask, we'll give her back for $1 billion. See, you tell the value by what somebody's willing to pay. Now, unless I read the verse wrong, read it again. Because the last part of that verse is saying something big to me. It's saying something bigger than whether somebody thinks they like me. It's saying something bigger than whether they want to accept me on the job. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but something about the end of that verse is huge. Read that.
Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. He
gave his life as a ransom. No matter what anybody else says, to God you were worth the most important thing he had. See, you and I need to get a healthy relationship with self. Did y'all find her? Y'all find them? That's okay, they're going to find her. What's a healthy relationship? What do we mean about self-awareness? Self-awareness, write that down. You and I need to figure out who we are. Now, there are people who get married very early, and I'm not mad at you. You know, I used to mess with mine and say, please don't get married till you get some age on you so you can figure yourself out. But sometimes people maybe have a greater indication, and they're comfortable to get married very young. Here's what I pray you will do. I pray that you will get to know who you are. I pray that you will have enough. Oh, Lord. Pastor Trevor, I hope you said it. When they date, don't listen. I'll never forget Tamala Elbert and Napoleon Elbert. We call him Pope. Their first date, she ordered something like 2 double cheeseburgers, a fry. He's a little thin fella. He just got like a Happy Meal. And she got 2 double cheeseburgers. She's not even that big. She's not a big girl, but she got 2 double cheeseburgers, fries, something to drink. And when he was slow finishing his fries, she said, you gonna eat those? Now, I don't know how her mother was, there she is. I wish, and see if they have another. Y'all see, ain't no sense of her cutting that. What's she gonna do with that? That's gonna be back this afternoon. That's how she was made. And she, look here, girlfriend pulling down them dollars to stand up there and put her hand like that right there. What? And that, you ought to see her, man. And look, she don't have on any makeup. Go ahead, girl. I know you don't know whether to clap or not. Don't make no difference. She still got it, and she's still going on. She didn't ask you to pay one of her bills. Ha! But see, we have this thing. We got to get rid of it. Come on, hurry up, Rose. An awareness of self. What do you like to do? How do you approach things? What matters to you? Y'all here? In John chapter 1, John the Baptist becomes an excellent coach for self-awareness. Because they asked him, they said, who are you? Are you the Christ? Are you the one that we should be looking for? He said, no, I'm not the one. Give me verse 19, hurry. Y'all still here? Okay, hurry, y'all, hurry. Okay, that's okay, I can't read. You write it down. They said, who are you? Are you Christ? He said, no. They said, well then, who then? And then they're going to say, what do you say about yourself? Y'all see it? Somewhere like 21 or something? What does it say?
And they asked him, what then?
Hurry.
Art thou Elias? And he saith, I am not.
22.
And then said they unto him, who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself?
What do you say about you? Because I know that you've been told that you shouldn't celebrate things about you, but that's wrong. Y'all not here. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking about yourself less. It's not that you think, I ain't tired, I can't sing, I can't. That'd be like, Kenny said, I can't sing. Shut up, man, you can. You know you can sing. That's somebody saying they can't cook. Well, I do a little something. I should just, well, wait a minute, bring it back down. You're good at something, you're good at it.